Maybe they have night battles and some people bring swords. And do I even want to be on Facebook? I'm going through an existential crisis. So now on to the big kahuna. Kahuna? Kahuna? You know what I'm saying. Today, we're going to be signing up for Facebook, the big behemoth, massive platform that probably all of us have had an account for the past 10 to 15 years. So I'm really excited to see what principles they have for the first time user experience that they've super gone hard on, and let's get started. As I came onto Facebook.com, it was very clear to me that they had already expected any person on earth to have already heard of their brand. When I was on the landing page, it simply said, connect with friends and the world around you on Facebook. That was super simple, right? You're already expecting a person to have heard of you, to have already associated with your brand, with your product. So sign up flow, super easy, 6 steps, loved that. The color scheme was starting to get a little wonky. I knew that green was the call to action color, but there was also this blue color, and so it seemed like that was the 3 primary colors, were a darkish blue, a light blue, and then a bright green as your call to action. And I was like, that's beautiful, except they didn't really keep that super consistent. If it actually had been my first time on Facebook, I probably would have gotten a little lost. There is a lot of text, there is a lot of things all around the page, even on the landing page. So that's really interesting. How was the first time user experience of coming onto Facebook? First impressions when I came onto the Facebook platform with a brand new profile that had no friends, that had no connections, that had no liked pages, it was actually quite stark to me. It reminded me of a really badly designed UI. My eyes are being pulled everywhere, and that is something that I thought was actually more of an advertising strategy, so that you can flood your feed with ads later on, because you're so used to being overwhelmed with a huge amount of text, with a huge amount of buttons. There were colors and call to actions all over the place. Blue, green, white, gray, on the left side, on the right side, they were everywhere. So first impressions, I was actually a little overwhelmed looking at it with my first time user experience lens on. Now, when I did enter the platform, I was asked for 3 things. Number 1, upload a profile picture. Number 2, find my friends on Facebook. And number 3, view their privacy. Number 1 was really interesting, right? They want me to do some amount of work, so I feel invested in the platform. Number 2, find my friends. Now, I specifically did not want to go and find friends on Facebook, which I know, crazy. I just wanted to see what the language, what the design, what the messaging was going to be. So what I found was that without those friends, Facebook just seemed very bare, and also a little claustrophobic. It made me feel a little claustrophobic on the design side. There was so much being thrown at me. Number 3, what I thought was interesting was the security platform was view their security info, their policy, and I was like, that's fascinating. All of this means that it's very, very important for Facebook's onboarding policy to include that security. So that's why in the very beginning, first time that I enter Facebook, I can see their security policy. When I do an FTUX, a first time user experience, I look for a magic moment. A magic moment is a very clear value add of something I couldn't get or would have to work much harder to get if I wasn't on that platform. And I look for clear value adds at 2 areas, a 1-minute magic moment and then a 5-minute magic moment. Can you give me something immediately, some success moment immediately when I get onto the platform? And can you give it to me once I start entering in information on the 5-minute magic moment side? So now let's talk about the 1-minute FTUX. I knew that the 1-minute FTUX was me completing my profile. For the first time, I'm looking through this and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a little overwhelming. They want me to add a cover photo, they want me to add a status, they want me to add my friends, add some groups, all the things that make Facebook Facebook. I realized how overwhelming it was for a first-time user. and how much time would have needed to be invested in just creating the profile. The 5-minute magic moment was, again, very interesting. I entered in kayaking right near a lake. Kayak. Sounds great. And the couple of results were interesting. First page was like daily kayaking, lots of likes, like 18,000 likes. The second thing that came up was far more interesting to me because Facebook never asked me for my location. And yet the event that popped up for the kayaking was right near me in Buffalo, New York. So they'd obviously said, okay, what is her interest and what event is near her? Facebook didn't ask me for my location. So I don't think that that's crazy bad or different, but I thought that that was really fascinating because considering all the things on privacy and on security, if I really was scared of Facebook, I would be really creeped out at that moment. How do they know where I am? So that was a really interesting 5-minute magic moment. Now let's talk about my favorite metric of all, the grit score. How gritty do I, as a prospective customer, user, need to be to stay on your platform, to actually get to that beautiful, magical success moment? Do I need to input 10 minutes worth of efforts? That's a grit score of 1. Do I need to put in an hour's worth of effort, in which case that's a grit score of 5? That's a lot of time and a lot of investment that you're putting onto the user. So from that angle of what a grit score is, it was very clear to me that there was a clear value add on some of the magic moments, but otherwise I also found it pretty overwhelming, the amount of text coming onto the platform. A lot of this has made me reflect on how creating this experience where you can actually get your friends to sign up with you has given Facebook this like massive advantage. People willingly give Facebook all of this information every day. People will absolutely find Facebook incredibly appealing because that is the place that they meet all their friends, their family, see all the updates. So on a grit score, Facebook blows it out of the park. I didn't think on a magic moment score, I thought they were okay. On a design score, they were horrible. I think the takeaway that I have from this is that new platforms, new startups, new tools, companies, you have so much potential out there because you can do things that these big behemoth platform companies can't. So I find that really interesting that big platforms like Facebook, that maybe it's hard to do a code migration, or better yet, it's hard to change your design without hundreds of millions of people screaming at you. Shout out to anyone who has actually finished this video. I know that first time user experiences can be a little dry. But here we are. I'm doing a couple more videos like this. If you have any thoughts on other videos that I should do, please feel free to reach out to us. We're on Twitter, we're on the LinkedIns, we're on the YouTubes. I think we're getting on the Instas. Ironically, we're not making one for Facebook, which is a little funny. If you have any thoughts on products that we should review next, please reach out to me, Elizabeth, at judgmentday@productmindset.xyz. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts.